What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're working on an 07 BMW 525i, and what we're going to be doing to this is doing lower control arms on it. I've already done the driver's side. There are two on these per side, and you're going to have a lower front rearward and then a lower front forward. And on these right here, you actually have to take out this whole inner fender, which there's about 20 of these little 8mm screws right here, and then one 10mm up here, along with these little pop clips right there. And the way you do these pop clips, you just push the centers in and then you can pull them out. But the way we're going to do this is we have to take this out, then we're going to have to take the knuckle for the strut. You're going to have to unbolt it a little bit and drive it down, because one of the control arms, you have to pull it up and it hits the bottom of the strut. But you'll see that once we get to that part. First thing I'm going to actually do is take out this fender liner right here, and like I said, you're going to have probably 15 or 20 of these little 8mm, along with one 10mm and 3 little pop clips. And I know y'all don't want to see me take all these out, so what I'm going to do is actually start pulling these all out, and then whenever I get ready to pull the liner out, I'll show you. Now you will have to use a ratchet more than likely on these back ones like this, and up in here where you can't get like a nut driver. I kind of lost the train of thought there. But you also have some along the bottom right up in here as well. So like I said, let me go ahead and take these out, and then whenever I get ready to pull it out, because it is a little tricky getting it around the brake hose, and you can either take the brake hose portion out and move it, or you can like kind of bend it around there, but you'll see whenever I get to that point. Let me go ahead and take these out. All right, so we got all the clips out, got all the bolts out, and also there is one more like body clip style connector right here that goes right there on the top, and I just used a body clip tool right here, pulled that right out. And so notice right here, this part right here, you'll have to pull everything out, fold it in, and then you can turn it and pull it out. But if you look, you see how most of this right here is behind the fender. Ooh, just don't cut yourself the way I did. Yeah. Alright, we're going to pull it out. Yeah, that's going to be a sore little scar right there. Alright, you see how we got it pulled down now? Now you're going to have to fold them together, like push them together in like this, then twist it and pull it out. Let me see if I can set y'all up where y'all can watch me do this. Like I said, we're going to try to fold this together. You're going to have to move it up. Just watch your wires and everything. And you can pull it right out. Whoop, didn't mean to hit y'all, but just pull it right out. Like I said, it's just so hard to get behind this brake hose right here. It will move a little bit, but don't push on it too much, because you will break it. And what we are after is this arm right here and this arm right there. So this arm is easy to get to, and on the passenger side you do have a level sensor right here, height sensor, so you will have to take it off. The driver's side does not have one, but like I said, the passenger side does. So it's just like a little 10mm that holds that on, then you can pop it out. It's even got like a little slot on this back side to where you can put a wrench to hold it so it doesn't spin the little socket connector, little ball and socket. But look, here's your bolt that goes through right there, and then there, I know it's a little dark, but right here is your nut for your ball joint. And then this one right here actually has a cover around it that you can pull out. gets tight sometimes. Come on. I see what it's hung on. Normally they come out a lot easier than this, I promise. The other one just come right out. I don't know why this one ain't. I ain't trying to cut my hand again. Yeah, it's just hitting on that bottom piece. But the nut and the bolt go through. I'll pull it out in just a second. It's just, this will show you that everything don't go perfect on a YouTube video. So, but there's a nut and bolt that goes through right here. And then to get this one out, you actually have to take this nut and bolt right here out along with that one. That's for your sway bar. Take that off, and then you're going to have to get a punch and a hammer and then tap down on top of the knuckle, or you can even tap on your brake caliper bracket. Just be careful, don't hit it too hard, and you can hammer it down. But first thing I'm going to do, I'll spray a little penetrating oil in here, just see if I can get some to seep in between the knuckle and the strut. But let me pull this out, then I'll start taking all this off for y'all. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and take this cross shaft bolt for the strut and knuckle out, and this sway bar end link holder, because it all connects to the knuckle, and it is an 18. I'm going to break it loose first, and then once I see the nut spinning, I'm going to go ahead and use an 18 on the back to hold it. And then we'll take that off and go ahead and pull it out completely. You're going to need to. That way it'll get your sway bar and link holder out of your way, so you can move it around and it doesn't keep tension on the knuckle as well. I always put my nuts and bolts back together so I know which one goes with what. This one should be, I think that's a 15 actually. And it's a 16. So that little bolt is a 16. And you saw the strut move whenever I did that. Or probably saw the strut move when I did that. This bolt isn't all that long. It's just, now we can move that to the back. Alright, we're at this point now, and what I'm going to do is actually remove the height sensor on this thing. Next thing is I'm actually going to go ahead and start hammering down on the control arm, or not the control arm, but the knuckle, to get the strut loose a little bit. So we got it to move down a little bit right there. What I did is stuck a big screwdriver in here on a pry bar and spread that open and hammered down on this control arm. I hammered on that one because we're replacing it anyway, and I didn't want to beat on the knuckle too much because it is aluminum. So first thing we're going to do is start removing this control arm right here first. And there is a bolt and a nut right here. That is an 18 on the bolt and the nut. It is a little tight to get your wrench up in here, but you can do it. I just used the open inside, it's a lot easier. But we're going to take this and loosen this up first, then we'll start pulling the bolt out. And you do have enough room to pull the bolt all the way out, so there's nothing else you need to remove. She's a little tight. May have to move y'all back some so I can get some leverage. Ooh. Actually, I may need to go get a 1/2 inch because the other side wasn't that tight. Much better. Alright, I do believe that the nut is starting to spin. spin. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, it's loose now. I think I can use my 3/8 ratchet now. Also, the reason he replaced these is because he took it somewhere and they told him that he needed them, so he just told me he wanted them replaced, so I am replacing them. Now that we got that out, we're actually going to take the nut off the ball joint of the lower control arm, and it's just a sticker that says do not tow or lash. So if you ever go to tow anything, do not wrap around that control arm, as it will break, according to them. So the nut for the ball joint is underneath the control arm. I don't know if I can show y'all that. Let me see. I don't know how well y'all can see that right there where my hand is, but it's right there. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that off, and we should be able to get the control arm out of there. Also, you do not have to hammer on these ball joints, as they are like a slip fit. They are not a taper fit like a lot of your American and Japanese style ball joints are. These right here are actually just a slip fit ball joint. Okay, so we got it loose now. You can hear it. We still need to hammer this down a little bit, but what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to take the nut off of this straight one right here, the back control arm, which is right there. We're going to take it off so that we can let the control arm come down just a little bit further so that the strut can come down. And it's a 21-2, and if you look, have a long extension with a swivel and a 21mm right there. And it comes up right behind the caliper bracket. We're going to take it off right there. Well, if we can. Oh, there we go. Yeah, this shoe's a little tight. I think the control, the knuckle might be spinning. Yeah. Alright, so it is spinning a little bit just because it is a slip fit. So we're going to use a 5mm Allen, and we're going to use that with a 21mm wrench, because it does have an Allen socket in the middle. Yeah, it is spinning. I believe that the Allen portion is stripped out a little bit, so I do have one solution to that. What I'm going to do is actually put the jack underneath here, put tension on the ball joint, and then we should be able to take it off with our regular socket. That did the trick. Alright. I don't know if y'all can tell, but it is raining here. Alright, now what we're going to do is go ahead and pull this cross shaft bolt out. And I'm going to pull this down and fold it out of the way. You can take it off if you want to, but it's just as easy to pull it down and get it out of the way. I'm gonna loosen it up with my wrench first. Alright, got the nut pretty much loose now. Now that I got the nut loose, I'm going to get in there with my 18 and go ahead and take this loose. Ow. Now on the driver's side, it doesn't have this sensor and the bolt doesn't go through it, but passenger side does. And your control arm on your rear one is out now. Now we just got to get the front one out. Like I said, we may have to tap on this right here to get it come down just a hair more. Okay, I should have it down enough now. You got probably about 1.5 inches, maybe somewhere around there, before you need to get this control arm out. So, see if I can do it one-handed. See how loose it is. Yeah, I think I can get it. I just got to put y'all on a tripod. Okay, I got y'all on the tripod. I'm going to pull back on the strut. Come right out. And here's the back end. There's your entire control arm. I mean, control arm is starting to separate. It's got a few little cracks inside, but I don't see anything majorly wrong with it. Here we have our new front one. Out of the bag for you. I've already checked them. They are the same. These are the import direct ones. They didn't have the Moog or the Linforder brand in stock, so I went with these. These right here do have a lifetime warranty on them, which is good, and we're going to go with those. I will put a link to the Moog and the Linforder ones down below, just because I do prefer those over the import direct. But if you cannot get those, these right here will do just as good. Like I said, these do have a lifetime warranty on them as well. Move the ball joint. What I'm going to do is stick this end part in first, and then we'll put the back end in. And then what we'll do after that is we'll put the back control arm in and start all the bolts in there, and I'll tighten down the ball joint portion of them and torque them down. Then I'll put pressure underneath there, jack up the strut to get the strut to come back into place in the knuckle, and then put tension on the rubber bushing until it comes off of the jack stand, just because you want pressure on these before you torque down these bolts right there, because these are a rubber bushing and you don't want those to twist and break like the old ones did. So I'm gonna stick these in real quick and I'll bring y'all right back. I have the front one on already, and I don't have it torqued down on the ball joint yet. I did use the old nut because I didn't like the way that the new nut was. It didn't have a shoulder on it. It was just a regular nut. I don't know what I did with it, but like I said, I did use the old one just because it is shouldered and it does have the little protector around it, and it kind of bites into the lower part of the knuckle. But what I did want to show you was on the new rear control arm, they do come with new bolts. right here. And also do not forget to put the bolt through your height sensor first, because if you don't do that, you'll have to pull it all back out and take the bolt out and put it back in. Okay, I got the jack underneath here now, and we're going to jack it up until the actual strut actually seats down into the knuckle. And once you put enough pressure on it, you will hear it probably slide back down inside of there. Might have to tap on it a little bit. There it goes. Now I'm going to lower it back down a little bit just so I can get the bolt in there. I still have some pressure on it. I just wanted to keep the pressure on it because I won't have to jack it back up anyway, because we're going to want to put enough pressure to have the weight of the vehicle on the car whenever we torque down the rubber portion of the control arms. I just got finished torquing these down, and I wanted to give y'all the torque specs. It was just going to be hard for me to show y'all because space is limited inside of here. So you can see I got the jack right here on the lower control arm, and I just jacked it up till it kind of lifted the car off the ground, probably, or off the jack and jack stand that I have back here, probably about a ½ an inch, just enough to get the weight of the car. Now these right here that go onto the subframe right here, those torque to 122 foot-pounds and an additional 75 degrees. So those right there, my final torque come to be almost 150 foot-pounds on this one, and then this one over here it come to be about 152. So that's a good bit of torque on those, and I was getting a little worried at times just because of how tight it was going on, but it did torque out finally. But like I said, it scared me a little bit, I ain't gonna lie. Then I torqued down the ball joint portion of them before I put the jack underneath there, and both of those torqued to 74 foot-pounds. This bolt right here, it torques to 72 foot-pounds, and then this little bolt, let's see if I can show it to you, that little bolt right there, it torques to 50 foot-pounds. So we got all that torqued down, and now what I'm going to do is just put the inner fender back on, and we're going to put all that back in, and then I'll come back and I'll close out the video. Well, we got it all back together. Got the control arms in, got the whole inner fender in. Like I said, the hardest part about this is putting this inner fender in there. Same way I took it out, I put it back in, folded it together, slid it in, and flipped it this way and pushed it down. Also, one thing I did want to let y'all know is I just about forgot to put my height sensor back on, so do not forget to do that. Like I said, it's just a 10mm bolt that holds it on, and everything is back in. But I'm going to close out the video right here. If y'all got any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comment section below. I'll get to them as soon as I can. And y'all remember, torque this tight, and y'all have a great day.